Welcome to Press Start, everybody. It's us. It's me, Mr. Cow, with Luke, Stevens, TV, and Kami Huddlestone. Today, we're taking Kami Huddlestone. Yeah, she's playing around with her cat there, Kami Huddlestone. Well, I guess with special guest Moo.
Special guest Moo. Do you want to say hi?
Say hi, Moo.
We had to pay a lot to get Moo on the show.
Oh, there we go. Say hi.
Hello, Moo.
Say hi. Say hi.
Hi, Moo.
Now, I know you can't tell from the look, but she's actually a communist who has quite the attitude. But that'll come out throughout the course of the show.
Big time anti-free speech, Moo the cat. Like and subscribe. We got some fun stuff to talk about today. It's not quite as dreary, I guess, as the last 2 weeks have been. It's like a little bit more hope. I mean, there's still a little bit of bad news with some stuff that we'll get to, but it's more so
Stuff's happening.
Stuff's happening. Yeah.
Gears are turning.
Things are starting to, you know what we should start with is two lovely men. Two stand-up gents, two titans of industry, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, creators of South Park. They just got paid big time. Luke, how much did they get paid?
So what happened is they signed a $900 million deal for the two of them, or for the South Park LLC, whatever the company name is. My understanding, it's $900 million once all these things are completed, and they have milestones as they go along. So as part of the deal, they need to make 14 South Park movies for Viacom CBS. They need to produce, I'm not sure how many, but at the very least one new South Park video game with a large 3D world. Theoretically, fully realized, South Park. And they have another 6 seasons of the show minimum. They're going to take it all the way up through season 30, however many more that is. It just looks like a home run for them. They are guaranteed all of these proceeds as long as they produce the content for Viacom CBS. And I think it's really a testament to the timelessness of South Park. The fact that these guys started back in like the 90s and are landing a deal this big with films and more seasons and video games. And even as part of this, they established $300 or $600 million. It's more than 300. $600 million as a credit for a facility with the help from HPS Investment Partners that they will use to create like a whole studio dedicated to the development of this South Park video game. It just seems crazy. Like, this is, I don't know if it's just somebody at Viacom, like up in the executive strata, just loves South Park and wanted to make sure that it lives on, to the degree that Simpsons and all of those shows have lived on and are kind of living forever. I don't know what it is, but this is a huge deal for fans of South Park. Because, I mean, there were times in the last few years where they were talking, maybe they're going to stop the show, maybe they're going to just move on. But no, doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it.
No physical chance of that happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
South Park is here to stay.
It's here to stay. And it's funny because just like a week or two ago, South Park, the creators, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, they were saying that they are in talks to try and buy Casa Bonita, which, if you remember, I think it was early. It's like season 4 or something. But they like Cartman goes and shoves Butters into a bomb shelter so that he can take his place for, I think it's Kyle's birthday, as they go to Casa Bonita, which is kind of presented like it's this mythical restaurant where there's cave divers and like a Blackbeard's Gold Treasure and an arcade, like multiple arcades. No, it's a real place in Denver. It's a real restaurant. And it's always been kind of crappy, which was part of the joke of South Park, is that because Cartman's a kid, he thought it was so great. But it's kind of just like a crappy restaurant with some gimmicks.
But
it
smells
is like
awful.
It smells awful.
It
Like
has
the
a
base,
stench.
the bottom room smells like raw sewer. Um, it's bizarre, but I mean, go figure. A poorly managed uh, I guess under repaired building that has multiple pools inside right next to the tables and carpeting. Like, imagine that. You got to be kind of on it when it comes to maintenance, and they're not. So they were in talks to buy Casa Bonita. Apparently, still are. And Trey Parker, who's kind of like the main head honcho at South Park, he's really the creative force behind everything. He was saying they want it, and they're working very hard to get it. It's just they have to kind of pry it from the fingers of the current owners, who, of course, have emotional attachment to it, but they've run it into the ground. They ran out of money. They declared bankruptcy and shut it down during COVID. I mean, it was rough before COVID. So after, like, in the midst of COVID, it doesn't surprise anybody. But hopefully they get that. I mean, this really could be a new wave of South Park, because you're talking they could own Casa Bonita. They're talking about completely reworking it so that it resembles closer what was seen in the show. There was, of course, the Casa Bonita DLC to the Fractured But Whole. So it would be a totally like reinvented mythical magical place with a lot of South Park influence. New video games, new seasons, 12 or 14 movies, full-length films. Like, this really could be the next wave of South Park. And I mean, say what you will about South Park, I think the fact that they don't give a crap about censorship or what they can or can't joke about is refreshing. And I think it's important for a healthy society, as it were.
Yeah, you
Just to be able
need
to
your
poke fun at
South
things.
Parks for sure. You need your shows that don't care too much about that. Although this is coming after, well, I guess it's been goddamn 5 years since what I thought was the worst season of South Park, the one from the 2016 election with member berries. That season, that's like the worst. That sucks because I forget what the exact story behind it was, but they like, since they make the show leading up to, you know, each event like weekly, they had it planned out, and then some events didn't quite go their way, if you catch my drift, in 2016.
Yeah,
and the show was just fucking ruined.
Yeah, they had Mr. Garrison. They're like, there's no way that Mr. Garrison's familiar will win. So we'll set up this whole season with this huge arc, and then it'll land and everybody will learn the lesson. Like, maybe we shouldn't just vote for the guy that's like meme-tastic, whatever. And then that didn't happen. And so they like had already made most of the final episodes because they just assumed it was going to happen that way. It doesn't go that way. And so they threw together the last like 3 or 4 episodes in the span of 4 days. And they're like, okay, so lesson learned. The later, like the next seasons, they did like, you know, with Tegrity Farms and everybody just needs a little Tegrity. Those were great. I thought the parts with Cartman trying to become like a rapper, those episodes have been really funny. So they're figuring it out. And at the very least, this shows like a new commitment, because they kind of meandered for a little while.
Oh yeah, I thought they
musicals
were done after that, because it's right as you make one of those drastic changes, like South Park did, and I was like, oh, okay, that's it. So we've only got a little bit of time left. It's like an ALF or any TV show when like a baby gets introduced, you know, it's like we don't really have any more ideas. Fuck it, have a baby, and then they put a baby in the show. Friends did it. I'm pretty sure How I Met Your Mother did it.
The Office did it.
The Office did it twice. They did it. It's a trope. It's a horrible cliche at this point, and it's just the sign of the end times. And you know, South Park did have babies. They had the PC babies. So
PC babies were kind of funny.
I think it was fair for me to think it was done for, going by that trend. But hey, they're pulling it through. South Park: The Stick of Truth is one of my favorite games of all time. We were talking about it
Told you,
just
man.
last week on the Tuesday show because I love it so much. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a new game.
Well, yeah, Jacob and I were even talking about it because it's a game that, like, clearly you play it through. It only takes like 8 hours, but you play it through, you can break the crap out of that game. Like, if you do a blood build, the blood effect stacks like 5 times. You can literally one shot the final boss. And it was made by Obsidian. So some people are like, I'm surprised Obsidian would have a broken game like that. But I'm like, that's the point. It's not broken. Like, it's designed so if you know what you're doing, by the end of the game, you actually are like this super powered immortal that has these crazy abilities. And that's one thing I like. Like, when I think back of playing between Stick of Truth and the Fractured But Whole, I feel much more likely that I'm going to go back to the Stick of Truth. Not because the Fractured But Whole's a bad game, but because I'm like, yeah, I want to become a superhero and like have done it myself and earn it. And, you know, it's so good. It's so good. I love it. Anyway, South Park, those guys, they're rocking and rolling. And as Colorado boys, I'm very proud of them. It's so funny. Jabe, did you know Mr. Anderson, our high school, I don't know if you were in high school there, but my high school principal, he went to college with them. And like, he's got some funny stories because they would go to a lot of the same parties. And he's like, yeah, everyone thought they were like a gay couple because they were always sitting on the couch next to each other, whispering to each other. Like, we'd all be talking, try to give them a drink. They're like, no, we're good. And then they would just whisper in each other's ears and then giggle. So they're like, something's weird there. And then they ended up going and doing South Park just a few years later. Which is crazy. Crazy.
It's great stuff. Cammy, you don't seem super into South Park. You haven't had much to say. Are you not a South Park fan?
I'm pretty sure, I don't want to like speak for all of the UK, but I'm pretty sure it's not that big of a deal in the UK.
Oh,
I've never sat through a whole episode.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah.
In the
so
least.
I'm kind of like, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Have you at least played the Stick of Truth?
I have not, but I want to. I know. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
It is very outrageous. You might actually legitimately find it funny.
Yeah, I think I will like it.
But it's definitely American focused. Like, it's like almost like Grand Theft Auto, like 5 and 4, where they're mocking American culture so much that if you're not in it, not as much of it will land.
The scene of Stick of Truth were funny, but it's like when I think about turning on the TV, I think you have to go pretty out of your way sometimes to find The Simpsons, let alone South Park. Like, South Park just isn't.
Isn't The Simpsons on like Disney Plus now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was somewhere I didn't expect it to be.
I watched like the first 6 seasons of it for the first time, and those early episodes are really, really fun. I like them.
Yeah. I don't know. Now South Park, I think, is on HBO. I don't know. Does Viacom CBS own HBO?
No.
CBS.
So it was a bid. It was a deal for the rights. I think normally, because Hulu had it before they bought the rights, it's gonna go to Paramount Plus, is what they're thinking of next. That's the Viacom one.
Okay.
HBO just outbid them.
I just signed up for Paramount Plus just for Ink Master. That's the only
tattoo show. The tattoo show. Oh God.
The bad tattoo show.
That's the only reason I signed up for it, and I'm so glad I did. I watched like 4 episodes last night. So.
But it's terrible.
And that's why it's so good. It's like 2013 cringe reality TV. Every time they do something, this tattoo's a mess, man. They cut to like picture or videos of the other contestants, and they're all like, you know, those big reactions. And what I love doing, when they cut in with one of those reactions from one of the other contestants, watch their clothing because half the time it's not the same clothing they're wearing in that episode. So they found like a big reaction a week earlier and they just copy and paste it through other episodes as like the big reaction to something amazing that was said. It's so funny to me and I love it.
Quality tattoo TV. Watch just tattoo of us.
Just tattoo of us.
Oh yeah.
Just the two of
Two of
us.
Just yeah. That now that is
It's all about the
quality.
delivery.
Just tattoo of us.
Yeah. That is quality tattoo TV if you've ever seen it. That's hilarious. Highly recommend it.
Well, there you go.
Well, sweet.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
I
that's
feel
the
like
South Park news.
we're talking about tattoos again. Feels like I'm in a loop
What kind of
Oh.
where I
loop?
want to die. I want to.
Would you say that's a death loop?
No!
Ah.
It is a death loop. A death loop has gone gold, everybody. So cover your wallets because it's almost buying time. Buy, sell, except Psychonauts 2 comes out first. But September 14th. Save the date. There's not much more to say than that. we've talked
Yeah.
we've talked Deathloop to death at this point.
Oh.
I know. We've gone. We talked about almost back when we thought it was going to come out in May. We talked it up a good bit. I'm still incredibly excited for it. No reason not to be. But my attention is elsewhere for right now. Still excited though. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've all seen everything the game has to show. So, like, we'll see. I don't know if it's going to be awesome. I don't know if it's going to be meh. It's certainly, I don't think it's going to be bad from what we've seen, but I'm not sure if it's going to live up to the hype. But if anything, I think this is probably honestly an example of a game that was probably over advertised, I think, just because it's like we've seen so much of it at this point. If anything, it's probably polarized more people than it needed to. Like to some extent, I think it's okay for a game to leave a little bit up to the mystery of the mind, because at least then you stand the chance of getting some people that weren't sure what the game was going to be. They try it and then end up liking it. But in this case, they've advertised it so much, shown so much of it, that I think it's probably turned more people off than it needed to. But that's just my opinion.
Well, I think you're wrong. I don't think they've shown that much of it. I think that they've
Why?
shown maybe like the. I think they've shown the main loop, mainly, and given us that idea. But I don't think that's going to be the entirety of the game. I think there's more to it than that. Plus, it's kind of a weird situation. It's something we're going to see more of, where these games really go all out on that marketing campaign. Because I got my copy of Game Informer in the mail for like, I don't remember if it was the month of May or April. That's the one before May. Jesus Christ. In April, Deathloop was on the cover. And so this game was built up like crazy in this span to release in May. But during the summer months, I did not see as many ads after it got delayed. I think their marketing, but like they went all out, and then we'll probably see some more.
They blew their
Probably-
marketing load.
Yeah, they
So
blew
they're-
their big, hot, wet marketing load all over the countertop, and now they're trying to frantically wipe it up with one of Bill Gates'
Countertop.
checks so that they can be an exclusive to Game Pass in a year. But it's going to be interesting to see. I'm still hyped about it. I think the people that are hyped about it are going to be hyped about it consistently, regardless of how much is shown. But we'll see about those new people that want to give it a try, because it really hasn't been talked about too deeply for like the last 3 months. So we'll see.
Yeah.
These games that might do well on stream, like with people streaming it and showing the different.
Yeah, and that's
ways
it's
to
a
get through the loop, if that, and then if people watching streams takes off, then it might do better.
I will say it's been kind of amazing to me that streaming has tied so closely into how a lot of games like advertise themselves. Like New World, that was the thing that stood out to me. Of course, it's an Amazon game. Amazon also owns Twitch, so it makes sense that there'd be a lot of integration there. But like it's almost like a mechanic in New World, whether or not you're streaming, because they can have in-game HUD that reflects it, that shows to other players you're streaming. So in a lot of cases, other players pay more attention to you because they see you're streaming, so it helps feed your stream. And sometimes you just get griefed, but at the very least, it increases engagement, makes the game seem more interesting. Like that level of engagement and focus on streaming and that appeal, I think that's probably where we're going, because especially for a lot of like multiplayer games or first-person shooters, a lot of what will make or break it is how streamable it is. Like Dead by Daylight, one of the huge benefits to that game is that it's very streamable, right?
Very streamable, almost unplayable at times, but very streamable.
Very streamable.
I have
and that's
mixed
what's
feelings
important.
about that game, but I know what you mean for sure.
Yeah.
It's a great marketing tag. It's one of the benefits I think now, where it's not just give them something cool to look at, but if you build a game that's genuinely fun to play and just well put together, and people are able to show that off, and then it'll probably sell pretty damn well. That's all there is to it. We saw that with Among Us. We saw it with, unless that's cringy to say, I don't know. I don't keep up with things. That's like a horrible thing to say now. God, I'm going to beep that out. I'm going to have to beep all that out. And we're going to have to cut this whole portion out of the video. Beep the whole rest of the video quickly.
A steady
beep. Make people think their headphones are broken. But yeah.
Oh, wait. I think I have it.
Hit us with
talk,
it.
Jacob.
I just shoved my hand inside of a... That's not going.
No, it still records your voice because yours is a separate track, but I think it bleeps me out. Like if I try to say, hey, I just sucked my... I shoved it inside my...
Oh, very nice.
It works.
Wait, can you hear me?
You just turned it off.
Is this one he's like, it's not mute at all. He's just...
He's just schlongschly.
All right, well, we're all good to go. I think we found we found our calling. Can any of that stay in? Can me mouthing the word over and over again stay in the video?
Is that what you were doing?
Oh, good. People can't tell.
It looked like you were going schlongus. Schlongus.
All right,
It
well,
didn't
good.
look like a word to me.
Beep out. We'll beep out some. We'll fucking come back to it. Let's talk about Activision. And what I was trying to say at the start of the video was not to put anything too lightly on these situations, but I feel like the people that were probably the cause, or at least knew about it and were letting it slide, are kind of getting more eyes turned on them, and because of that, a lot of the shit they're doing is coming up, and some of it just makes them look like complete and utter morons, and it's kind of funny to see like how obvious it is. Kind of like in this situation, the Activision CCO, Francis Townsend, yeah. He tweeted an article called "The Problem with Whistleblowing," which if you're the CCO and you're in this situation, the last, like, you don't want to show solidarity or anything. How about you retweet an article that actually just says "the problem with whistleblowing" on the cover? I didn't read the article. All right. I'm just that presentation enough tells me, like, oh, he doesn't quite get it, does he? He's like trying to turn the attention.
It's a woman, she.
Oh, she. Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, there you go.
Francis is a she?
Yeah.
She is.
I've never heard Francis as a she.
She's done a lot of stuff like this. She's got some really interesting positions that she likes to share. Yeah. It's funny. So after all of this, so she tweeted that out. She's also, I believe she was the one that repeatedly was like defending pretty extreme forms of torture.
Oh my god.
Maybe not. Like I might be getting it mixed up, but At the very least, this is not the first time she's been in the public eye and that she has received flack for saying something. But you know what? Executives, they get that type of thing all the time. She tweeted this out, this whistleblowing thing in the middle of this, everything that's going on. And the funniest thing started to happen. Activision Blizzard employees started tweeting at her that this was unacceptable and really insensitive and blah, blah, blah. So she just started blocking them as an executive at the company, really, showing that she cares what they think and listening.
Mhm.
And after this came out, gamers started flooding her Twitter account, and she deleted her Twitter. So what's kind of amazing is that this CCO, this individual who has received lots of flack before for saying some other crazy things, she withstood all that for months and months and months. And then she deals with gamers for an afternoon and is like, okay, I'm out. I'm done, and backs out. Which is just so delicious. But it also goes to show just how powerful gamers on Twitter can be.
Well, before we start speaking to gamers' powers, they got a moron to delete their Twitter account. They didn't solve world hunger. They didn't do. They definitely squashed it a bit.
That's true. It's more just funny than anything. But
It cracks me up.
This is what I was talking about with the torture thing. So Activision Blizzard announced yesterday. This was posted March 3rd of this year. So March 2nd, they hired or announced that they had hired Francis F. Townsend, a former George W. Bush era counterterrorism appointee and torture apologist, who became its head of compliance, in charge of making sure the company doesn't run afoul of varying laws and regulations throughout the countries that they do business in. So they hired her to make sure that everything they do is legal in India, China, the US. Everything's got to work together. And it's just funny because she was somebody that actively and openly spoke out in favor of what they would refer to as what did they call it? They called it something really, really cringy, but pretty much just aggressive interrogation, which just means torture and waterboarding. And so she openly campaigned and said that that was good and you should still do it and blah, blah, blah. And then she goes up against gamers for an afternoon, and that's what causes her to delete her Twitter account. So
gamers, power up.
Yeah. It is funny though,
Ugh.
it's always fascinated me how these big corporations, they don't is she technically the best person for the job of compliance officer for a major corporation? Honestly, probably not. I think you should probably go and hire somebody that has worked at the World Bank or has gone and has a PhD in international affairs and things. This chick just was in the White House as a counterterrorism expert. So she certainly has connections, and I think that's more of what they're doing. Everyone says it's not about what you know, but who you know that will get you ahead in life, especially in the corporate world. And in this case, they're hiring her for her connections and the fact that she was once in the White House and has lots of connections as a result of that. That's a big deal. It's like when I was doing real estate and people were trying to get me to go to other firms just because I have connections to family members who have money and want to buy real estate. And so they're like, we don't care if you're a good broker. We just want you because you're going to bring your family and everybody you know with you. That's all it really is at the end of the day. And this is a twisted version of that as well.
Activision trying to get the president of the United States to play Call of Duty.
Can you imagine Biden?
This is what we're going to use these connections for. We're going to make Call of Duty America's game. Fuck football. Fuck baseball. Call of Duty.
Biden's like, I would play Call of Duty, but I only use the Kinect, so I can't.
Oh, God.
He's in there Xbox dance.
I would absolutely adore to see. You know what? Any political figure I would love to see using the Kinect.
Honestly, out of any political figure that probably does actively use the Kinect, it's probably Boris Johnson. I'm just gonna be real.
He does look like a guy that would enjoy the Kinect.
Yeah,
We
he
didn't
does.
choose him. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah,
He
but
chose you.
Vote for
the
that
Kinect,
man.
he didn't choose the Kinect. The Kinect chose him.
Yeah,
That's the way it works.
Honestly,
to
the
play
guy
that-
doesn't know how many children he's had, so let's
Honestly.
not go there.
Hey, that's with
Honestly.
Arnold Schwarzenegger too.
Okay,
Oh.
but
Did you hear
Arnold
about
has a
that?
really good reason. Like, I totally believe Arnold Schwarzenegger has no idea how many times he's impregnated
Shot the
somebody.
goo.
Because it what a gross way of saying that. Shot the goo.
Shot the goo. You know what he do.
Anyway, so she's out of Twitter. She's still in the company, but she's off Twitter and is shutting up, presumably. Oops, I just messed up the doc. The other thing, Blizzard leadership. Cammy, tell us about it.
So J. Allen Brack, who is last week or 2 weeks ago, he was the guy that released one of the first statements after the Activision Blizzard situation. He was the guy that we were making fun of.
He did the shitty one.
Yeah, the best words he could come up with were, "I'm angry and
I'm
sad."
angry and sad. I think this is that
Angry and
lovely
sad.
character.
Yeah. Oh, he stepped down. He yeah, exciting times. He was president of Blizzard, and he has stepped down to quote unquote pursue new opportunities.
Like
Okay.
going to prison.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if he's a criminal or not.
No,
but-
we don't know that. But he was also one of the two men named in the lawsuit. So it was him and that Alex who had the Cosby suite. He was the other guy mentioned. But now he's gone. And Jen O'Neill and Mike Ybarra, I'm hoping I'm saying their last names right. They're gonna co-lead Blizzard effective immediately. So there
That's
you
pretty
have it.
neat.
So
Good
this is the same guy back when the Diablo Immortal stuff was going on with the long hair and everything, and he was sent out to try and do damage control because
Was
then,
he the
like,
guy
the
that said you all
Reforged
have
stuff-
phones? Was he that guy? Was he on the stage for that?
No, that guy was. My understanding is that guy was an actual developer on Diablo Immortal.
Oh,
And like I
no.
said at the time, I think he honestly, like, they were in their conference rooms for years working on this Diablo Immortal thing. Like, this is going to be so good. It's Diablo, but you can take it with you anywhere. And so, like, they were honestly blindsided that people hated it. And so he's like, you all have phones, don't you? Like, this is awesome. And everyone's like, you don't understand. You totally missed it. But this is the guy that has to answer for all this because he is at the head of Blizzard. So at the very least, all of this is just like Bobby Kotick, the CEO, he's a control freak, and he is somebody that is not going to just like step down and let somebody else run the company. He's completely reformed the company. He's grown it to a crazy size. He's made unbelievable amounts of money as a result of it. And he's not going to go anywhere without, a pretty major fight. And that being said, he's going to fire all of the other executives, all of the presidents, the leadership, everything at these companies before he steps down. And that actually is one of the reasons that they give CEOs the power that they have, because the idea being when something like this happens, if the CEO wants to keep their paycheck, they need to transform the company real quick and fundamentally and completely. And with Bobby being kind of a greedy pig, he's probably trying to figure out the best way he can retain his paycheck, get people to shut up and stop boycotting, get the streamers back onto his biggest game ever, and move on from this. So if he needs to let some heads roll that are executives and in lead positions at Blizzard and Activision, he's going to do it. And this is, I think, the first occasion where it's a very public execution. It's not really, like, do I think J. Allen Brack is directly responsible? No, like we've said all along, it's a cultural issue. The policies and enforcement on the lower level management side is probably what's leading to most of this. You can say, like, yeah, Jay Allen is responsible for that lower level leadership, and I agree. But just getting rid of him isn't necessarily going to change all of that. But still, like we said at the beginning, like, at least gears are turning, stuff is happening, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see other heads roll as well. Because, like I said, Bobby, he's not gonna go anywhere. He's not leaving. He likes his huge paychecks way more than just getting out of the public eye. So this is the first very public thing. We'll see. He'll see if this settles people down. I don't think it will. And then they'll probably start, like, they'll announce that they fired 55 lower level managers who failed to live up to the standards of Blizzard, while also denying that anything ever happened, even though that's kind of an admittal that something did happen. But we'll see. I mean, at least gears are turning, right? At least stuff is happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wish it was a little quicker, but that's okay. It's fine by me. Sometimes change takes a little time. It's gonna take a little time.
It's gonna take a long, long time before I have.
That's like 3 different songs we just did. We did. What's his
Rocket
name?
Man.
You did Rocket Man? Okay, you ended with Rocket Man.
Yeah.
My middle, I was doing Foreigner. I was doing I Want to Know What Love Is.
I wanna know what love is.
And then you started with something else. It's not important. We should let you know. But this is going good. It was a great show so far. You guys having fun? Post down in the comments what you're feeling. How are you doing today? How tall is your dad? Send us pictures of him at the P.O. Box. Should we get a P.O. Box? How would that
I have a
work?
P.O. box.
Yeah, but like a big P.O. Box. One of them
Big
bitchin'
old P.O.
ones.
box.
One of them ones the Air Force uses. How are we going to get one of those?
I mean, you can. You just have to pay for it.
Oh, fuck. I don't want to do that. All right. If you're going to send us stuff, send it to the McDonald's on Colfax. McDonald's on Colfax.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. I think that's about it for really gaming news. I think I think that about does it. We've got some plans for you people. For you disgusting people. You horrible, horrible vagrants. We've got some
Jacob
fun.
appreciates the audience.
I do love the audience. They love a little put down, as I always say.
Yeah, you got to keep them in check.
But we're gonna be playing some games all together. We're all three gonna be on the Tuesday show this week. We did that lovely episode last week with Miss Amsley Cat, Miss Amy. It was great fun. See about if you guys like having guests on that show, let us know. We'll try to get some more onto it, and we'll keep moving on that. More games to come, more news to come. Psychonauts 2 right around that corner. I cannot wait. I guess the Dave will actually be talking. We'll be talking about it almost right after launch. So I'm pretty psyched up for that. But that's about all I got left to say. Anyone else got anything?
I got
I'm
nothing.
feeling good. Got to get back to work on these videos.
Well. Like Danny DeVito, this has been a nice and short and sweet one, I will say for sure. Makes me just want to give him a kiss. Oh, wait, there was totally one more thing. Oh,
No.
God, it had to do with Cammy.
Ah!
I was going to try to
Oh,
torture
no.
her with something, and I forgot what it was. Oh,
Glad you
right.
forgot.
If you guys can get this video, I'm going to set it to a nice, not even that crazy of a number. Let's say 300 likes. If you guys can do that, Cammy and me, both of us, are going to watch Tusk for the Tuesday show. Tusk, for those of you who don't know, is a Kevin Smith film about a guy getting turned into a walrus. It's horrifying and disgusting. It is foul. It might make you puke.
Stop.
So 300 likes. What did I
Oh.
say? 20 likes? 10 likes?
No.
I don't give a
10
fuck.
likes.
Jump 300 likes will say, tell your parents, tell your family. I desperately want Cammy to have to watch that movie, and I'm looking for something new to watch anyways, so I might as well put that on the list. Be good fun. Hell, get it to 10,000 likes. We'll make that shit the Human Centipede and just keep on moving.
No.
How can she still hear me? She took her headphones off.
Yeah, I
Just
can hear you
yelling.
through here.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
So
She's got
just
those
yelling,
British
no,
ears.
no.
Yeah,
the British
I
have very
knocked the
good hearing.
volume up while I took the headphones off, so I could just hear you coming out of my neck.
Oh.
Like Tusk. You
No,
can only
stop.
hear through his neck.
No, I refuse to watch it.
You guys
I
have your
refuse.
task.
It's against my human rights.
You
Do
know
what
what
you have
you
to
have
do.
to do.
It's
Yeah.
actually in your contract, Cammy. It says we're allowed to
It's
set
not.
limits and whatnot
It's
to
not.
make you watch
It
things.
says Jacob's allowed to do whatever he wants, and you.
It says I'm allowed to do whatever the fuck
not.
I want, so long as I'm giggling while I do it.
It's
It says as
not.
long as I have a song in my heart, I'm allowed to do whatever I want.
It actually
No, no.
says in the contract, "Song in his heart."
There's
It's-
no
I
feasible
refuse.
way to confirm if I do genuinely have a song in my heart. So we're going off the honor system for this one, I will say.
I refuse.
Scout's honor.
Scouts honor. Wait, Scouts.
I think it's Scout's.
Live long and prosper. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Woo!